Hello everyone, and welcome to another royal reading. And this one I'm going to have to shout, not over the barking dogs for once, well, you never know, but over the wind and rain which has come out of nowhere. As I did my first reading today, this sudden storm has burst upon us. It's very welcome. It's been unbelievably hot here in South Africa, and suddenly, just as I started doing these readings, the wind came up and now the rain, everything, doors are blowing, windows are blowing, things outside are blowing, animals are disturbed. So there is a disturbance in the force field, something's going on. The winds of change, as I think it was Neville Chamberlain said, way back in the 60s. And I think he said it in Cape Town, of all places. But anyway, let me not try and dredge up school history from a very long time ago. Someone hopefully will be able to give the correct quote and the correct place in the comments. So the winds of change are blowing here. I am looking today with the Crow Tarot. I will show the box in a second. Crow Tarot, I am looking at Meghan's careless Twitters, her comment on the CAREorg Twitter feed, in which she seemed to plagiarize Queen Rania. She said that a girl with dreams becomes a woman with vision. And this was, of course, on International Women's Day. Meghan, the famous feminist, famous, I think, for interviewing, what's her name? I've gone completely blank now. But you know, the actual famous feminist. I think that's as close as Meghan has ever got to feminism. All her accomplishments have been thanks to some male of her acquaintance, whether her father or her husband or her boyfriend or a prince or whoever else, famous entertainers, fashion designers, you name it, Marcus Anderson, whoever else you want to name, all distinctly male. Omid Scobie, questionable, maybe a plastic person, we're not quite sure about Omid, but Meghan would be nowhere without them. So, Crow Tarot, there it is. It's my deck that I use for Twitter when I'm looking at Twitter, things that go wrong on Twitter. I know there's been a huge big Twitter spat about Prince William. I'm not going to look at that because honestly, just can't at the moment. I'm trying to keep things a bit light here at the moment. So, a 5-card reading. We're going to look at what Meghan was up to, putting that comment up, how she responded to the backlash, how she feels about the backlash, because it was instant and so vociferous that they eventually took the quote down. Very embarrassing. Is she behind her own PR? This is a huge PR gaffe. Is she actually now doing her own PR, uncoordinated PR, from her mansion, wherever her mansion is in Montecito, with her Hotmail account, sending things out wildly without thinking them through, and the outcome for her. And the underlying energy of this 5-card reading is the Emperor. That is the boss card, that is the all-powerful card, the leader card, the Aries card, the ego, always, as well, the Emperor, even when it's upright like that. You're not a shrinking violet when you have the Emperor come out like that. You want to be front and center. You want to be a thought leader. You want to be seen, to be at the center of things. Even though the Emperor is a male energy, we are talking International Women's Day. I have just been talking about men actually being the leader. And the Crow Tarot has come out and endorsed that theory. It has actually rather amusingly said, you are right. It is actually all thanks to men that she is in the position she is, and no thanks to herself. So there we go. Just my opinion, of course, just a tarot reading, just for entertainment purposes. And so, the heart of this little Twitter storm for Meghan, and we have the 5 of Wands in reverse. Yes, conflict, absolutely. The 5 of Wands. There was a spat about this. People got very indignant, and rightly so. Why should she pass off other people's very wise comments as her own? So a lot of people immediately jumped on it, criticized it. I know people got banned and blocked and whatever happens on Twitter. I do not have a Twitter account, never been tempted, but I do drift around in there from time to time. And so yes, there was a lot of conflict about it immediately. A lot of conflict about it, which the Five of Wands tells us. Wands always PR. It's in the reverse. Extra amount of conflict. I would read this reversal as very intense conflict. And of course, the Five of Wands is also one of the competition cards in the tarot. So trying to outdo each other, or coming up with something very clever. And Meghan thought that she would come up with the best quote for International Women's Day by stealing someone else's, and she is known for her plagiarism. She's constantly being exposed for plagiarism, has been since we all first really heard about her. Royal followers, I didn't ever watch Suits. I watched a couple of episodes when she burst on the scene to find out what all the fuss was about. Still haven't quite figured out what all the fuss is about. But anyway, what was her goal, her intention with this little quote? We get the Lovers in reverse, and that's rather odd. And I really am shouting here. I cannot believe what is going on outside in my garden. I'm overjoyed to see this rain. It's very unexpected. The Lovers, and I know some of you watching this have had far too much rain, and I am very aware of that. I'm very sorry for you, but I can't tell you how dry it is here right now, and we do have a fire burning on the outskirts of our village, what we here call a felt fire. So the Lovers in reverse. She's feeling left out of things with the Lovers in reverse. The Lovers is all about partnerships, and we're not in a romantic scenario here with this reading at all. We're talking about deals, partners, and big stuff, because it's major arcana, the Lovers. She is feeling left out, and so she wanted to make sure she had some impact and had some notice. Of course, the Emperor, there is the ego. We're talking about ego. We're talking about wanting to be the leader, and we have it. We have it there with the Lovers in reverse. So that was her motivation for it. I'm getting a feeling of great self-pity as I'm looking at that card, which is not my usual state of being. Self-pity. I can lapse into self-pity occasionally, but not right now. And my eye is drawn, universe is giving me a bit of a nudge, to the second underlying card in this deck, which is the Strength card in reverse. It wants us to notice the Strength card in reverse as we look at that Lovers card in reverse, another major arcana, the Leo card in reverse. She's feeling powerless, she's feeling neglected. She's out of the limelight. She doesn't like it at all. She just wanted some of that love, some of that notice, some of that attention. So how did she feel about the backlash, the swift and vicious backlash? How did she feel about it? And we get the Six of Wands in reverse. Wow, that is the defeat card. In upright, the Crow is surrounded with that garland of victory and a sun, very interestingly, and I've just been told about the Leo energy, and triumph, victory, the Six of Wands. Normally somebody riding on a white horse while the peasants bow and doff their caps, while other people throw their hats in the air. But the victory card in reverse, defeat, massive defeat, didn't have the impact at all that she was expecting. We've got the Five of Wands in reverse as the heart of this reading, all that conflict, and her feeling is the Six of Wands in reverse. Oops, that didn't go down well. That was a blow. That was an unexpected defeat. She managed to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory with this ill-advised quote that she put out allegedly. And let's just check. Was she responsible for this little bit of a PR gaffe? Is she now doing her own PR with her Hotmail account? Who's doing her PR? Well, we get the partnership card. It looks as if she is in partnership with someone. We know that Sunshine Sachs represents her, is allegedly still responsible for her PR at some exorbitant fee. But she's very involved in it. It's not coming out as it was just Meghan on her own. That's not an on your own card. It's quite the opposite of an on your own card. So it wasn't her Hotmail account. The idea might have come from her Hotmail account, but to a partner in PR. More ones are insisting on coming out in this reading PR cards, emails, messages, and there it is. It's a partnership at equal partners because it's a two. So she's got somebody on speed dial, or she's got somebody who their inbox is full of clever ideas from Meghan. And this was one of her clever ideas. I think it was her clever idea that they executed for her emperor. The boss, the thought leader, my clever idea, my brilliant idea, you mere minion over there, you execute it. Send it off to the care organization and they will be thrilled to put it up there. And oh dear, when it all went horribly wrong. So the outcome of this backlash, yet another backlash. What is going to be the long-term effect of this for Meghan? 9 of Cups. It doesn't look like it's going to have any particular consequences for her, because the 9 of Cups is about your wishes being fulfilled, your dreams coming true, having abundance and riches around you, and you can indulge yourself. It's a self-indulgent card, really. It's one of the Tarot's narcissist cards. Let's just put that out there. This is another one. This is another one. So we have the narcissists out to play today. But the 9 of Cups is that smug, self-satisfied energy. So it's not really going to make a dent. A little dent here. A surprise. Oh, I didn't see that coming. But I will just sail on, and they'll love me again soon. That's the energy coming from the 9 of Cups. It almost has that 7 of Cups energy of being deluded about your possibilities and how adored you are, and who you can marry next, and that kind of thing. But the 9 of Cups is more just feeling very pleased with oneself, and so I think she's going to be able to shut this down in her mind. She does seem able to just block things off, things that are embarrassing, that would have a normal person taking to their bed for months, and they would never go out again. Well, if they ever went out again, they would go out with a blanket over their head. They would retire from public life. Just one of the things that she has done would certainly cause me to have a nervous collapse. But she seems impervious to it all. Still pleased with herself. We still have the sun there. The crow is kind of admiring itself there. Have a look. Same image. And the crow is going to be admiring itself in the mirror again soon, and not going to be knocked back by this, not at all. And so there you go. That is the level of ego we are dealing with here, sitting next to the Emperor card, of course, the ego. And so the rest of us all in shock and awe. Oh my goodness, how embarrassing. Her, oh no, doesn't care. On she sails. On she sails. So that is the reading, and I'm going to go out now and enjoy the wind and the rain. Thank you for watching as ever, and I will see you tomorrow.